Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Walking Digital Corridors, where this week we are talking about AI in sales. And I guess who better to talk about this than three salespeople? So, without further ado, I'm your bearded sales guy, and I'm joined by these handsome-looking gents. That was your.
I will go first then.
Sorry. I didn't quite.
Gents.
Yeah, hi all. Gents now at BDR at content.ai. Pleasure to be here. I'm really looking forward to this discussion.
Nice.
And I'm Jordan Abbott, aka the Sales Poet, currently Business Development Manager at the Institute of Sales Professionals. And again, really looking forward to this session.
Cool. I feel like you should be hosting this at some point. I know you host the F1 banter.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, given the work that you're doing with the EPN and the kind of young sales professionals network, or I should say
emerging professionals network. Yeah.
Network, because it's not just for youngsters in sales, right?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, AI in sales. So where shall we start? I know I'm using AI myself in my day job to be more efficient at what I'm doing. But would you guys like to kick us off with? Well, let's go tactical, shall we? Initially, before we go strategic, let's dive into the one tool that you find is most valuable to you in your role in sales.
Opus Clip for me. Really cool tool.
What is it and why?
Yeah, so really cool tool. It's essentially an AI video curation tool. So you can upload video content, and what it'll do, it'll create clips of varying lengths, and also transcribe them and put subtitles, sort of thing, as well. So it's I don't know how much time it would save me. Well, it would save me hours. In all honesty. You know, initially I had to go through the video highlighting, okay, I want to make a clip of this point to this point, this point to this point. So there's the video length, and then it's actually editing the video to create the clips.
Well, there's two ways to think of this, right? So yes, it saves you hours and hours and hours because you're a salesperson that has lent fully into developing your personal brand. Therefore, you really understand the value of Opus Clip because you've gone through the pain of creating videos and editing videos for social media, for your socials.
Yeah.
But then for those that haven't yet established, felt the value of developing content to support the creation of their personal brands, then it could be a great first step into avoiding that pain, I guess.
Just waving to Mama Abbott. Yeah, it's a really good point. And just to expand on that first step, you don't necessarily need to do anything fancy with it. Why not just record your internal calls that you're having with senior leaders, with your teams, because there are going to be some nuggets of great insight in there. And if you can quickly put that through Opus Clip, generate those clips, you've then got some content that you can share throughout the week, the month, for example.
Yeah. And for those listening, it's opus.pro, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
And I think there's a free 30 minutes.
Opus.pro, and the free account is an hour's worth of video content to upload per month.
Yeah. So before we move on to Jensen, I think the one that I get most value from is somewhat related to Opus Clip, or certainly what you were saying about recording yourself, because Cast Magic I've found to be well, enlightening, I should say, because I've been able to do things that I hadn't thought was possible. And so Cast Magic is a tool that you can basically upload any video content or a presentation, anything you've recorded, either MP3 or MP4, so audio or video, and pump it into Cast Magic. It transcribes it for you, and then you can create prompts that asks the transcript, if you like, what we were talking about, to create things. So could be social clips, could be a newsletter. It could literally be anything. I use it to power my newsletter at beardedsalesguy.social on Substack. But one really cool feature is an app that comes with it, and you can just record yourself. So you can literally talk into it. It auto transcribes into Cast Magic, and then you can interrogate the content when it's in Cast Magic. So I find that to be super cool, because then you can create emails, you can create social content, you can create any sort of messages from some simple text that you've talked into the app. You could transcribe a prospect that you've recorded, say, doing a YouTube or from a YouTube, and then prompt the transcript to create a series of questions that you could then ask that prospect in a conversation with them.
And you can save those prompts, right? So it's not a case of having to re-upload the prompt or retype the prompt. It is a case if you've got your list of prompts, whenever you upload a piece of video content, the AI will be working in the background to start generating the content associated to those saved prompts.
Yeah.
So it's just super efficient.
Yeah. How about you, Jensen?
So I there's two things really that I use, and one may be a little bit controversial. Maybe a little bit controversial.
Go with the controversial one, because I feel like the other one's going to be basic. It's going to be ChatGPT.
No, the controversial one was ChatGPT.
You're basic.
Yeah.
The controversial one is ChatGPT, and I use it in a different way. And I think I was explaining this to you yesterday, Alex. I quite like just having a conversation with it. And if I'm stuck on a specific topic, I almost kind of put myself as these different personas and try and have conversations with it to find out what it is that they're trying to kind of achieve. And then from that, I can use what I get from ChatGPT to then start a post, or then to actually think of some messaging, or think of something that actually I can use maybe in an article. Obviously, I'm not just putting in ChatGPT, can you do this for me, and copy and pasting it, because that ruins your whole personal brand. People know it's fake. And really, I think people just have to remember AI is there to help aid, not to actually really create, right? So
Well, that's your view.
Yeah, well, I mean, still,
reality is,
if you were to ask AI to create an article for you, okay, it'll be okay, but you can tell that it's AI created, right? It doesn't have that human touch, that human feel to it. So it can create, but still, I personally think that, and I always will think that human created content will always excel AI created content. And I think if people do use AI created content, then give credit to the AI for writing that content, right? And add your thought to the end of that content. Say, hey, I had a conversation with ChatGPT. It come out with this. My opinion is actually, do I agree? Do I disagree? What are your thoughts? And then really the other one that I use is it's on Gong, where it records your call. So like you were talking about, George, recording kind of internal or customer facing, maybe if they're open to it. And actually you can use the AI to timestamp to find out what was said, what topic was said, when it was said. So it can help with even like follow-up, right? You've got to write a follow-up email, but you've been on a call for 45 minutes. right? And it's so hard to actually make notes and maintain concentration to then remember what you're going to put it in that follow-up email. So it helps you to one, it records it for you. So you actually keep all of those golden nuggets you've spoken about, you've got them locked in. Two, when you're then writing your follow-up, you know what you need to send them, right? So it's this sorts of things that really help. It really does help me.
Yeah. It sort of prompts the question, you know, so where do you think we're going with this within sales? And before we talk about the answer to that question or our opinion about that question, I feel like the ultimate goal for us in sales is to develop trust with our target audience, with the people that we want to do business with. And so much of what we've seen in sales for so many years has been counterintuitive to that, to achieving that objective, because it's all about numbers and activity and less about quality and really thinking about trust. So I'd really like to put AI in those two buckets. So bucket number one is, okay, so which AI tools go in that bucket whereby it's just focused on productivity alone, you know, in isolation, or efficiency alone, or task, you know, doing tasks for us, let's say. And then the other bucket is, what is AI that is actually adding value to helping us as people develop trust with other people that we want to do business with?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that within the profession, I've said this before, whenever there's something that's cut from the efficiency cloth, we will work it to death. Same thing happened to email when automation tools blew up. It just creates a whole lot of noise for people. Yeah, great, we're hitting activity metrics, but think of the amount of noise and the detrimental effect that it's ended up having, right? So my view is, what's that?
On so many levels,
Yeah,
not just business performance.
no, exactly. So I think that my view is I will use AI to drive efficiency of those behind the scenes sort of things. I will use ChatGPT, like you said, to have a little brainstorming session. If I am a little bit stuck, if I want, you know, a different perspective, in that sort of thinking time. But anything that is face to face, and I say face to face, anything that's customer facing, I think it needs to be about us. It needs to be authentic, not about us, but it needs to be human. It needs to be authentic, right? And there's some interesting things going on in terms of an AI coach that can maybe provide pointers or some feedback. I know on Gong, I think they also generate some feedback, right? You know, you use filler words too much, or rephrasing something in that way. That can be really handy, right? But as soon as it's not a human to human interaction, that's when I think we've shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Cool. So I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Everyone's days are about to start as we approach 9 o'clock. I think I'd like to call it there, because I want to leave the rest of this discussion for the next episode, where we perhaps look into the future of B2B sales with AI as a key component. But before we go, I asked ChatGPT to list AI tools that significantly enhance productivity and effectiveness of B2B sales professionals. It gave me 10. I didn't ask for 10, but it gave me 10. And what was interesting was they all seem to be the top players. So I don't know if ChatGPT is now being influenced by, sponsored by certain companies. So then I said,
Really good point, actually.
yeah. Then I said, well, okay, so give me a list of 100. And it tapped out at 59 and asked if I wanted, and it was halfway through the 59th recommendation, and it asked if I wanted to continue.
He was getting
So then I
tired.
asked, so how many are there? And basically it gave me a long-winded answer of saying, I don't really know, and there's so many popping up every week that it's difficult to keep track. So I just found that interesting. Good. All right. Well, thanks for joining. Lovely to spend this morning with you, fine gentlemen. I wish everybody a wonderful rest of week, and looking forward to the Chinese Grand Prix this weekend.
The return to China after what's it been? 5 years?
Don't know.
Huge.
Sure.
5 years.
Joe's got his first chance to race in front of his own fans.
Ooh,
Be
imagine he
interesting.
scored some good points.
Yeah, well, it all depends on how much improvement the Stake F1 team have made on their pit stops. Really, I mean, they'll be ahead of Alpine just because they're in a tractor. But
anyway, let's hold that for tomorrow.
Mark coming in with a late comment there.
Yeah. So Mark, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow as well. Cool. Have a great rest of the week, guys. See you next time.